Greetings, family. How are you? Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings, a Thursday edition, the 13th of November, 2025. My name is Jack Willard. We'll say hello to Heather. She's first. Hi, Heather. And Elaine Peterson. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our show. When we were on, we did a double shot last weekend, Saturday at 10:30 and Sunday at about 8:15 East Coast time, and you can find both of those shows in the live section of this channel. Just click on live, the virtual church of the disillusioned. And said I probably wouldn't do Wednesday because that was Westchester Medical Center Day, which means getting up earlier than I usually do. And then fighting the traffic on the way back home, because although my appointment was 1 o'clock, by the time we got out of there, it was 4 o'clock. First, a echo cardiac exam, and then eventually seeing Dr. Naidu, and then having some blood taken further down the hall before I left to see how the liver is doing. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Hi, Karen Phillips. Welcome. Gloria Drummond. Jesus is the only answer. Hi, Jack. Saying hello to Elaine and everyone. Blessings. Adam Davidson. Grandpa Adam Davidson. Hi, Adam. How is everything going with you? Miles Wright is here. Retired Miles Wright, but doing what he loves. And anytime you want to update us on your activities, feel free, but certainly don't feel pressured. Hello, Jack, and can't stay long. I'm sick. I'm afraid this is a familiar refrain for Brenda Noyce. It was in the 50s today. Windy, rake leaves, got bad cold. Not from raking leaves. My knees are killing me. Well, Brenda, you are just too fragile to be raking leaves. Get some young buck to do it. That's what I say. Are there anybody around? Any young bucks around? Has the video started for anyone? Everybody okay with the live stream? Are you seeing the live stream okay? It won't become technically a video until we're done. Then it'll become a video. At least in my brain. Everything is good and blessed. Well, that's good news, Adam, because you have had your share of turmoil, just like Brenda. Hi, Jack, twice in a day. Well, the other was just a promo to tell you that I was coming on, because I kind of promised that I would do that, especially when we start to change up the broadcast day a little bit, that I feel I owe you a promo, and I hadn't done one. So while we were having our clothes dried at Mr. Washy Washy Laundry, I came on and did a thing and promo that we would be on tonight with Worldwide Ramblings. So then, as I was pretty much done with the message that I would have stayed on a little longer, but then I got a phone call reminding me I had a telemed, which I had to do in the laundromat. So that's what I did. You got to roll with the punches, you know. Sounds almost like an REO Speedwagon song, but they didn't use the word punches. I've been doing yard work too, huh? And cleaned out my raised bed garden boxes. Huh. Need to get the leaves up. Dandy Andy, my engineer, who's been kind of too busy to do much of that, because he's been doing everything from fixing a big flat screen TV for the guys across the way. And Andy can do anything, you know. I mean, normally when your TV dies, you just go and get another one. I mean, for goodness sakes, at ShopRite, you can get a 55-inch, yes, the grocery store, you can get a 55-inch TV for 177, not one of the top models, 175, 177 for a 55-inch. People just don't fix those things. They throw them away, but not the guys next door. They spent $30 for a part and they spent money for Andy. They were very generous with Andy, and that's good. That's encouraging to him. And the worker's worth is higher, so I was glad to hear that. Um, so that's the way they went, and Andy was able to come through. He ordered the part. The fact that he knows these things is just amazing to me. We are buried in leaves. So Andy got this handy dandy machine that they used to use a lot in the 70s, 80s, 90s, I guess, that you push the thing and it rakes the leaves. It pushes them back or whatever it does. We have woods behind us. You've seen it. You've seen it. I showed it just over the weekend. I think I showed it, the yellow leaves that are quickly dissipating, quickly ending up all on the grass or in the woods. And he's got this machine that just kind of it's an easy way to rake, so to speak. You don't have to take. I don't mind. I enjoy the exercise of raking leaves, but and he's basically the grounds guy around here these days. I will do a little trim mowing if I think he missed something or what have you. But he's the guy that does a lot of the things that are very helpful, including bringing my heavy laundry up here and uh, plumbing to a degree, and worrying about the leak in the roof upstairs. We're supposed to get a new roof, but it doesn't look like it'll happen this year. So if he has buckets up there and it's not too bad. And when it freezes, it won't be bad. Uh, but they might put a tarp on a section of it until next spring. But, you can't wait to the last minute, which is the neighbors have something to do with this. In fact, they use that roofing company, but now he's overwhelmed and he's racing against the clock to get more roofs done before the snow comes, and the snow could come any time now. We've had snow before Halloween in past years. So how are you, Joey Bauer, huh? Baby, what you want me to do? Baby, what you want me to do? Sounds like you're reciting a Taylor Swift song. That's what I want to have Bob sing, Brother Jack. So I see you're being serious here, Joey. Oh, that's a good note to start off on. I'm looking for serious inquiries, Joey Bauer, that he might want to do. I don't know how many people know some good Southern gospel tunes or contemporary Christian songs, because that's most likely what he's likely to do. But there's no reason he couldn't put a secular song in there. He sings for his wife. I don't mean to do this, but it's a very confusing part of the story, isn't it? A very confusing part of the story. I'm not going to go into that now. But I don't know. These are songs that I'd like to send somebody. And wouldn't it be great if we had some kind of a consensus? But thank you for participating, Joey. Who sings that song? Tell me who sings that song, Joey. Um, Obviously, he's not going to sing songs that are not within his image as a pastor. Um, he's not going to. He's not going to say. He's not going to sing a Britney Spears song. which is what this really sounds like. I wish I could hit some music, to uh, give an example here and there. It would just make the program better. I'm hoping someday that'll be possible for creators, even if they block it in a few countries, but that wouldn't make the video be good. That would make the live stream sound good if you couldn't hear it, and some of the audience could. Um, Love you and Karen. Hope all is well. Thank you so much, Joey. Um, what's that song all about? Prayers for your knees, Brenda. Jack, I see if this, Jack, I see it this way. I'm 64 years old. Then you're young. I won't let arthritis, my health, get me down. Once you stop doing things, you let it rule you. Yeah, because as you become sedentary, uh, the situation is exasperated. giving, giving you the long words tonight. Um, if the simple thing is, if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. Lots of leaves, huh? Says Miles Wright. Um, Here's Jackie Organ from Australia. Hi, Jack and everyone. Julia Joyce. Hi, Jack. I would love Pastor Bob to sing If That Isn't Love. If That Isn't Love. I'm trying to remember. I know the song, but it's been a while since I've heard it. But thank you for that. Who did that song originally? And Help by the Beatles? Well, he's not going to do that one. um, let's see. If he were going to do a Beatles song, what might he do? What might he do? He's not going to do Let It Be. Um, First of all, Mother Mary in Let It Be, that Paul McCartney wrote this song, is about his mother Mary, not the Virgin Mary. So a lot of people, you know, made a false connection, but it helped the song. It helped the song tremendously. To be blatantly frank, and my name is not Frank. I want you to know that, not Francis either. Not too many people would care about Paul McCartney's mother, but many people would call about the Virgin Mary. Um, and of course, whether you're Protestant or Catholic, and variations there's variations in the Catholic Church as well in what they believe Mary's role is, etc., etc. Like, oh boy, I'm going to just get myself in trouble here because I know I have some very traditional Catholics, and I'm not looking to offend you. Um, I told the story about a time when I forgot the blessing that the Lord had given me, and I just felt I needed to go to church and get down on my knees where others would be praying. And it was Monday evening. All the Protestant churches are closed. Forget it. It's like when Jesus said, in terms of Holy Communion, do this in remembrance of me. It seems like the Protestants often define that scriptures, do this in remembrance of me every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks, whenever you can get to it. No, no. The emphasis on Holy Communion. This is my body. This is my flesh. This is my blood, the blood covenant, you know. So I won't fight with people that don't believe it's a literal transformation. Um, but I can tell you one thing. I went to John Hagee's church, for example, once in San Antonio, and the whole communion was like in this big church. I mean, they got it down 5 minutes. He preached for an hour. You know, you see what I'm saying? But anyway, why did I go into all that? Then I have to remember. Um, uh, oh yes, I remember now. So anyway, I went to the 24-hour adoration chapel. That's right, I could go there right now. I go there 3 o'clock in the morning. There'll be someone assigned to that hour with a panic button that's connected to the police station. You got to be safe, you know. Um, and they'll be praying. You know, the Blessed Sacrament will be on the altar, and what I didn't realize when I went there that particular Monday night, that was the regular 7 p.m. Monday night prayer group that was happening, and they were singing. So I had heard, people say, "Well, we don't praise Mary. We call on her for intercession." But, people say that all the time. We don't praise Mary. And so I walked in there and they're singing the Our Father, and I joined right in. It was pretty full. So I just stood in the back. I said, they're all standing anyway. So where I stand is not that important. And they're singing and what have you. They're probably going to do the rosary, but they're singing songs first. And all of a sudden, they start singing, Mary, something like this. Mary, we love you, we praise you and adore you. And I'm sorry, but that's not what I believe. I don't praise Mary. She's blessed amongst all women. What a wonderful example. What a sacrifice she gave. And she was the instrument that God chose to bring his son into this world. He was already alive, but he came to earth as a man. And Mary was the woman that was chosen. But I don't see anywhere in scripture where I'm to praise Mary. And I'll lose a few people here. I probably will. That's just par for the course. It's the same with politics. But when things are going on, I don't have to do it at Worldwide Ramblings. I can do it somewhere else, and of course, the views will be a lot less. Um, but the last few verses of the Bible, maybe we'll read that tonight, says that if anybody adds to or takes away, in other words, there's no extra revelations here. That's different than if God speaks to a person in speaking in tongues and it is interpreted and what have you. I think that's the Bible's pretty clear in Acts that that's different, but I'm not going to preach that tonight. I'm just saying that when I heard that, um, the witness in my spirit to leave, was to leave. And I did my praying and thanking right outside the chapel with my hands raised, thanking the Lord and blessing, uh, well, not blessing him, but letting him know that I was so thankful for his grace and mercy in my life. So thankful for his grace and mercy in uh, my life. So that's what I did. Um, and that's all I better say about that. Let's see here. Hi, Jack. I would love Pastor Bob to sing that. Okay, we got that. And help. Um, Hi, Jack. I would love Pastor Bob to sing. Why do I keep reading the same one? All right. I don't want to miss anybody. Just make sure I haven't. Um, Gloria Drummond says Blue Christmas. Um, well, the things that are wrong with that is he's going to, first of all, it's an Elvis song, and I expect to get that tonight. But this is an album he's going to record probably in the spring, probably around Nashville, if not in Nashville. So that would be on the next Christmas album, but it's not likely something he would choose. It's not likely something he would choose. Um, Now, nevertheless, I wrote it down. I wrote it down. Oh, he asked for songs and then he doesn't like them. um, so far, the best one is "If That Isn't Love." If that isn't love, I gotta I gotta remember that song. Can somebody tell me who did that song? Whether this will work, this topic tonight. What song would you like Bob Joyce to record? What song would you like Bob Joyce to record is the question uh, for tonight. Um, Vinny Maru, hey, 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 from Las Vegas. How are you? Um, why is the rum always gone? Well, I haven't had a pina colada in quite some time, Vinny. Not in quite some time. I have to definitely do that in moderation. Not supposed to drink too much with cardiomyopathy, but I hope my friend Polka Sean is doing that in moderation as well as he recovers from some of the things that happened to him this year. Wishing him a total full recovery. I'd like to hear his rendition of Heaven Can Wait by Meatloaf. I barely remember the song. Um, it wasn't Heaven Can Wait. um, all right. Let's see here. In the Garden, he's never done that song. He's just done it in church, right? That is a great one. That is a great one, Elaine. And I've got some people to thank already. I'll do that in a little bit. The media company managing Pastor Bob was originally from Memphis. Coincidence or not, I wonder, says Jackie Organ. Um, well, they're not abroad now. The media company, the media company is based in the South, and but not not Memphis, Tennessee, not Memphis, Tennessee. Glad you found humor in that one. Well, I was going to look at the lyrics, Vinny. Now I'm curious. Um, because it's one of those Meatloaf songs I remember the least. I'll tell you, we've had at least two separate tribute Meatloaf tribute bands come to our Paramount Theater. What starts off pretty bad, Vinny. Tell the angels no. Well, if they're the bad angels, you could tell them no. I don't want to leave my baby alone. I don't want nobody else to hold you. There is a chance that's a chance I'll take. Baby, I'll stay. Heaven can wait. No, he's definitely not going to sing that one. Um, it's all about wanting to be staying with his baby. Unfortunately, and time's up, time's up. Maybe baby wasn't good for him, Maybe baby was, Jasmine Crockett or something like that. Get rid of that baby. He means he found paradise here on earth with his love, but of course, you know, in terms of eternity, the time here is don't ever. I've seen this happen to so many men, and I guess women too. Don't ever make another human being your source of worship. Now, having said that, men like to cherish their spouse. They like to, but then again, we always hurt the one we love. So it's a dichotomy. I tell you, there's another big word. It's a dichotomy. We always hurt the one we love. That is just so icky that we do that. So icky. What do you think, Vinny? Um, let's see here. Means he found paradise here on earth with his love, with divine intervention. No, but it's got to be God, family, uh, work, God, family, friends, work. God's always got to be at the top. And it's always got to be, is this your will for my life, Lord? I didn't really seek God's will in either of my two marriages. Not really. Obviously not, because I messed up in both of them. So, what am I to say? God told me to marry that person. Um, hey, the mother of my children, a wonderful woman. Uh, second marriage, uh, very talented woman. And I'll leave it at that. Robin Roman, prayers for Timmy. Is that the gentleman with the motorcycle? Who was in a motorcycle accident? Yeah, I think that sounds right. Still in a coma, is he? Todd Bradshaw as well. Hello there, Vinny Maru. Yeah. The Tennessee Titan speaks to the man from the City of Lights, Vinny Maru. Good to have you both with us, two of our cornerstones. Nice to see you. You all been a minute. Well, Vinny has been visiting with family. He told me that. I think we can say that much. Vinny has been on his days off visiting with some family, and that's a good thing. Felipe Salvi. No, don't. The song Don't. Sort of remember that song. That's an Elvis song, right? I'll write that down. And where are you from, Felipe? Felipe? Yes, God always first. Oh boy, I see people get so caught up, in the magical spell of a partner, and it never works out well. It never works out well. Um, hmm. Is Belinda here? Belinda Taylor? Is that who we're talking about? Um, no, Belinda must be someone in Brenda's family. Okay. You're in Portland, Oregon. My goodness, that's a wild city, Felipe. Have you been downtown when things were going crazy, go nuts? crazy go nuts in downtown Portland? Cops had their hands full a few nights ago. My goodness, but I mean, it wasn't your standard random violence. It was people dancing in colorful costumes and what have you. It was different. My goodness, all our uh, all our male heavyweights are here. Miles is here. Vinny's here. Todd Bradshaw is here. I haven't seen Neo. Is he here? Um, I'm in downtown a lot, sir. The city has been closed basically for the last week. Isn't that where they said, or was that Seattle? I always confuse Seattle and Portland. Seattle, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. I confuse the events that's happening in those two cities. Um, it was either Portland or Seattle that they said, "Oh, it's just the governor. Your governor has kind of short hair, right, in Portland?" Oh my god. Um, it's just like a just for a block or two, you know? We don't need the National Guard. This is just happening in a block or two. Um, so I have seen a lot more action in Chicago with the cops out there in the street. Um, it's like the mayor is trying to prove that they don't need the National Guard. They don't need ICE. The cops can take care of it. But of course, it's ICE that is on a mission of a different kind. Hopefully, to get the worst of the worst, and not someone who's been here 15 years. With a clean record. Um, I understand when people get upset about things like that. Uh, People that are very needed sometimes in the labor force, and they are just picked up in the street. So Richard Lyon, the Grand Patriarch, is here as well. Hello, Jack. Hello, Richard from West Palm Beach, Florida. So, what's your impression, Felipe? What do you think about the situation in Portland, Oregon? I have no idea what your politics are. Um, I hear I keep my phone up because it alerts me to what may be going on in the email. If the wind is just right, we can hear a train that is many blocks away. It goes through the town of Walk Hill uh, at Cottage Street Extension. And sometimes I can hear that train. It's so weird because we used to have trains going right through downtown, but now everything has moved to the town of Walk Hill. So you have to pick up the train in the town of Walk Hill now, which is, just 3 miles that way, 3 miles that way. Neil, there you are. Sorry for being late. Do you have a pass? I'm usually on not usually on Thursday, and we've done some Thursdays, but I did say on the weekend that Wednesday was Westchester Day, which meant getting up early and, you know, fighting. By the time we got on the road at 4 o'clock, it was early rush hour. And of course, I'm going to go for the Palisades. I didn't even put the GPS on because they would have probably Alexa would have probably wanted to send me to the Bear Mountain Bridge, that narrow traffic, and through Croton on Hudson, where Catherine Lee Scott has a home from Dark Shadows. Um, but it's not my favorite way to go. So you get on the thruway, and then you just want to make your way to exit 13 where you can go Palisades, and that was pretty smooth sailing till you get to the traffic circle where it's backed up and what have you. You know about the Palisades Parkway, Richard. Don't pretend you don't. You pretend you don't. I don't know how often you ever hit the Palisades Parkway to come up this way. Probably never. I don't know. People that are from one of the five boroughs just tend to stay in those five boroughs unless they fly out to go somewhere exotic. And now you are somewhere exotic, Richard. And I bet you it's warmer than 38 degrees, isn't it? Oh boy, look at me. I'm dressed like John Fetterman. With all the politics they do, I never heard an update on John Fetterman. How's he doing? Took a fall, didn't he? And everybody's been remarking how great it is to see that he's made such a recovery. I hope he's okay, and that he's a common sense Democrat who was certainly 100% against the shutdown and what have you, and now is now hated by the progressive wing of the party. And I would wear that John Fetterman as a badge of honor. Then I would switch parties, but he's probably not going to do that part. You heard he is okay, Richard? Yeah. Because the second part of what I heard is like it was related to something neurological, is the reason he fell. I mean, I couldn't believe when they elected him. He could barely put a sentence together and what have you, was horrible in the debate because he just couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden he makes a full recovery. I did pray for him. I did pray for a full recovery for him, as I'm sure many did. And then he turns into this middle of the road, somewhat conservative Democrat. Love it. Love it. It had to do with his heart. Uh-huh. Okay. So they burrow down, says Neo. Oh, Neo. Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi, must be here. Hi, Marianne Rossi. Hi, Jack and all. There she is. Sandra Fair, I would like Pastor Bob to record any of the old gospel songs that Lisa Marie recorded with her dad. Well, No One Stands Alone is not really a gospel song. It's not really. Um, but yeah, I understand. They're talking about the Lord. So I don't know too many songs that he recorded with Lisa Marie. You'd have to educate me there. Um, what you're looking for is a song that Pastor Bob would really identify with. And it seems a few days after the passing of Lisa Marie Presley, when they were holding the public memorial, Bob Joyce was not at the public memorial. He preached opposite the public memorial in Benton at the church by the creek before they moved to where they are now on Samples Road. And the song that he chose to sing, of course, that morning and gave it everything he had was No One Stands Alone, the very song that Lisa Marie um, sang as a tribute to her father, Elvis Presley, and did it as a duet, taking old Elvis footage from the probably early 70s of Elvis singing No One Stands Alone. And she turned it into a duet, or he would sing a verse, she would sing a verse from the studio. And sometimes they would sing together through the miracle of technology. So the fact that of the millions of songs Pastor Bob could have sang that Sunday in a praise service, not a praise song, No One Stands Alone, not really, he chose to sing that song. He chose to sing that song. And when the mic was a little bit away from him, many of you feel he muttered, I love you, Yisa. Yisa apparently is the nickname that Elvis had for Lisa Marie. So when you combine that with like 6 or 7 other dozen facts or oddities, or don't like to use the word coincidences because I don't really believe in coincidences. When you add all that, darned if someone brought up John Cotner today. I don't know if you're here, Dory. I think it was you, Dory. And they were saying John Cotner was Elvis in the early 2000s. I don't know what that means. But I remember we did do a video. It's here somewhere. Again, I need that list, don't I? I keep saying it. But we did cover John Cotner, and I didn't think he looked that much like him. And uh, I think everybody knows my opinion is if it's not Bob Joyce, it's probably nobody. It's nobody, and there's gotta be a connection there somehow, somewhere. Too many things. So maybe that's why in 2026, there'll be some big things happening in this story. One thing that could delay it is there's not a new sanctuary ready to go that has many more seats than they have now. Now they have enough, and they've had some empty seats, but that will change. And people come from all over the United States, Canada, and other foreign countries as well. It's kind of like we consider Canada a sister country, you know. But if you're in Denmark, you're far. A lot of weird things going on there too. Don't tell me there's not. Neo, guess if they are nobody, they stand alone. Um, you have to come with a decoder ring, Neo. I know you're going to want to sell it on your website. God is amazing. That probably is a song, Elaine, but I don't know if you're giving me a song title or just saying that. GPS always sends me a long way around and I end up shouting at her. I've had that happen. I've had that happen. Or or they're not saying anything at all. And you're saying, Alexa, please say something. I see something coming up here that I'm going to have to make a choice, and I really need your input. Uh, and with that said, um, I hate to admit this, but on the way down to Westchester Medical Center, it's a pretty easy run. Once you get on the thruway, you're going to go over the Mario Cuomo Bridge. You know, there's still people that want to call it the Tappan Zee Bridge, even though they tore the Tappan Zee Bridge down. I bet you Richard Lyon would call the Mario Cuomo Bridge the Tappan Zee, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Uh, so after that, it's down to exit 4, Hotsdale, where you have to literally go make a loop and go back on 87 and go up to the first exit you come to. Um, that will take you on to the road. What the heck do you call it? That will take you down to Westchester Medical Center. Once you learn how to do it, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. But I totally missed it. I missed the fact that we were approaching 3 and then 4, and then all of a sudden I see exit 5. Karen's not going to notice, you know, she's with me. And I say, how does this work now? Is 4 after 5 or is 5 after 4? 5 is after 4. Now, right there, I could have taken the exit, but I was still in doubt. So I went to 6. And then I knew for sure exactly what was what. And I was able to spin around and make my appointment on time. But the fact that I missed that um, sent shivers up my spine, Vinnie Maru. Just got punched with a double ad twofer. Oh, really? Yeah, see, I never know these things because I don't see them. I don't see them to the replay when they I wonder, so did everybody else just get punched with a 2-ad twofer? Hmm. Hey, Carolyn Mullins, how are you? Sorry I didn't say anything sooner. She's talking to Brenda. Um, are those Australian numbers? Are you talking about Trump's $2,000 tariff check that he may send out at some point? Here in New York, we got $200 out of Kathy Hochul. Most people did. And that helped me catch up a little bit, you know. Um, but Karen hasn't gotten that yet. Most people, most people have, but they're still handing them out in November. It was like inflation check, something like that, she called it. Gloria got the ads too. See, I never see that. I get a lot of ads, usually 2 in a row, sometimes a third, plus an ad pop-up over the chat. Huh, I see. Well, at least that must mean they think, that we have some viability, because they wouldn't do that if if I had, like, 1,001 subscribers and, um, there were 22 people in the chat or less. Well, they might. Who am I to say? It's not for me to say. So, Vinny, let me ask you a question. Um, who was it that said that things were not so good in Vegas? Things were on the decline. I hate to put that to you live. Could have saved it for an email, but would you say that Vegas is in trouble in any way, shape, or form? Is it still booming? Is it booming only in certain times, like in the summer and holidays and things like that? Um, I know Donny Osmond's pulling in some down there, and it must be in Vegas still, right, Vinny? You should be breaking bank with these ads, Jack. Well, they don't pay me. They just do, I just get paid per 1,000 views. So if this particular show doesn't get 1,000 views, basically, that's why you want those multi thousand views, and I'm wanting them, but I'm not going to use trickery to get them. I'm not going to use trickery to get them. Um, the Bob Joyce video, wild, new, exciting Bob Joyce video, 69,000 going to 70,000 right now. That's when Greg Pritchard went to visit who I believe is Robert Wayne Joyce. Uh, they all came to Benton to go to church, and that is when, around the time that the tornado had brought flooding into Benton, the power was out and there was no church. And Greg Pritchard went to who he thought was Pastor Bob Joyce's church that he sees every Sunday. And there's some question about that. Shot a video, so there's roll-in video of that. The video that, well, I guess it was um, Bob Joyce that shot that himself on the iPhone, Greg's iPhone, and then we bring in 2011 Pastor Bob Joyce footage when he was just starting out, chubbier, hair parted a little different, and so we compare. Is this the same man or isn't it? The overwhelming consensus was no, it wasn't the same man, and the man who Greg Pritchard met that Sunday was not the pastor you see every Sunday. So watch that video if you haven't seen it. I'll give you the exact title when I go to just a little bit. Um, so what do you think, Vinny? It's slow, food expensive. Better, I see. Thank you for telling me. Still love to go there. I know there on his last two vacations um, was somewhat successful as well. At least broke even the second time, at least broke even. So that was pretty good. And they saw, who did they, what show did they also, the post, they saw him, and it's a pretty good show. A lot of YouTubers have made plenty of videos concerning what? Did that guy ever go back to the church he was supposed to? That's right, says Marianne Rossi. Have not heard. I'm assuming he would tell me that. Um, I'm going to guess that he hasn't made it yet. I'm going to guess that he hasn't. They're down in Atlanta, Georgia, and might wait till spring. It's getting to be the kind of time now where you never know what kind of weather you're going to run into. No, Jack. SSUS going up in January. Social Security is going up 2.8%. Yeah. Um, where are you located, Carolyn? Because that looks like $50 Medicare deduction will be $220 each month. So that means we might see about $25 more, $25, right? More in pay each month, holding my breath in the 2000 that Trump is talking about, the tariff. He's also talking about, and I think that this is going to go through now, no tax on Social Security. Some states don't tax it. Some states do. Some states do. So think about that. That's more too as well. But you can never just live off of Social Security. It's just not possible. And these copays, with Medicare Advantage plans and what have you. Again, I'm not quite sure where you are. I just come out ahead. Haven't gambled in decades. I think, and tell me about what exactly it is you do. It's probably in the casino you work at, you couldn't. But other places, I guess you could. Um, I don't know if there are jobs in Las Vegas that no matter what casino you might enter, you're not allowed to gamble. Is that possible? Brenda Gaskill talking to Brenda Noyce. It's a Brenda situation. Pamela Maltese is here. Hi, Mr. Big Glasses. I don't know. Kind of like these glasses. You think they're too big? Most of my glasses are big. Certainly my Walmart glasses are my Walmart readers. Where are you from, Pamela? Let's see here. If I've missed anybody, I didn't mean to. It can happen. I always come out ahead. Yeah, heard that one. Yeah, the pension went up a little. Not much. Not much. When I got my pension, they said it'd be 5 years before you can get the cost of living increase, And I thought, okay, well, here the 5-year mark came, and I thought, oh, this will be great. It was minuscule. It was minuscule. So I don't get paid for the ads per se. I don't get paid for the ads per se. I get paid for the per 1,000 views. Those who hit the thanks button for any amount, and then the Cash App. Let's look at the Cash App. Well, there he is right there. Vinny Maru hit the Cash App for $50 to feed those critters. Boy, they're ever coming. They're it's a weird thing. I tried to feed the raccoon who came about the time I thought he would. We feed the raccoon dog food because they said cat food's not good for them. Well, I'll tell you, they're mostly obese anyway, so they probably all should be eating lean cuisine. But who am I to talk? So thank you, Vinny, for $50 to feed the critters. We feed deer, we feed raccoons, we feed feral cats, and there are at least a half dozen of them. There's Suki and her 4 children, Suki Forbes, and then there's Roger Collins, another character from Dark Shadows, the blonde and white cat. We're not quite sure where he's from. In school, when Roger Collins was in school, he always got straight F's in the category of plays well with others. He just doesn't get along with anybody, it seems. In fact, he'll even swipe at Karen if he wanted more food and she seems to be walking away. He'll for a swipe. So we don't know if he's from a house, but they keep throwing him out because he's so. But he'll let you pet him while he's eating. He will, and he'll look at you so sad sometimes. He did come in once, but there's a problem with our cat Willie Loomis, also a Dark Shadows character, of course. So what can I tell you? So, Vinny, thank you so much for that. Elaine Peterson, thank you for hitting the Cash App for a love tip. That's what it is. It's a virtual tip jar, whether you use Cash App or you use the thanks button right here. It's a tip jar. I am your talk waitress, whatever. I don't have the curves, not like I used to. Gary Newman still has the curves, man. He looks like he's like 22 years old and he's 67 and he's dancing and arching his back. And he's only got one real hit, Cars, but he's got a loyal following. And I tell you, it's like being in the middle of the apocalypse when he comes on stage. It's just I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like it. There was one other show, but I have to think about which one it was. But he and his band are just, and his light show. It's incredible. It's incredible. And he's been doing this since 1979. His first hit, Cars, was in 1979. Maybe he's been doing it since 77. Thank you, Elaine. And let's see, somebody new hit the Cash App as well. Um, Well, I'll just say the first name because you didn't tell me that I could use your name. Patricia, don't know where you're from. Don't have your email to thank you, but I'm thanking you now, Patricia, for hitting the Cash App as well. I appreciate that very, very much. We're working on December 23rd now, is because everything is always a month behind. We're working on the month of December now. And since I think the 21st and 22nd are on a weekend, it'll be December 23rd when I hear from Google with the results for November, the deposit. So I'm very thankful that they have the thanks button for me and that they let me do Cash App information as well. If you have Cash App, you want to hit it for any amount, it's Media Guy 56. You load it from the Google Play Store. You have to use your checking account and put that in. Then you can use it to receive money, send money to your loved ones. You can even pay bills with Cash App if you so wish. They'll show you how to do it, I think. And my Cash App handle is lowercase letters Media Guy 56. I'll put that in the information here. Lowercase letters. Media Guy 56. This just helps me in a retirement that is really not big enough. It got smaller along the way. A few things kind of blindsided me, you might say. And so that's how you use Cash App, and no amount is too small, no amount is too large. Jody Smith, Jack, assuming the record company knows that Pastor Bob is remember, always before you hit that send button, make sure that Pastor Bob is in an if what the situation got to the point. Do you think he would give the record company the go ahead to say he is who he is? No, he's going to do it his way, which is he will make the disclosure. He won't want somebody to make a disclosure for him. Of course, we're only speaking of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing, um, but we'll see what happens in 2026. Um, I, I'm. I think we can say for sure, unless it's not the Lord's plan. Um, I think we can say there will be more concerts in 2026, and he's definitely going. There are plans for him to record multiple times in 2026. So, what we're asking tonight is, what song would you like Bob Joyce to record when he goes into the recording studio in the spring? What song? Um, please make your suggestion right here. Thanks again, Vinny. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Elaine Peterson, one of the cornerstones like Vinny. Appreciate that very much. Joanne Parker, does Dark Shadows have more than 12 episodes? Oh my goodness. 1100 and they say 1145, but there's this weird thing where you'll go to the next episode on Prime Video or Tubi. I guess it's back on the other one there. Um, that other obscure service that has some good stuff on it. Um, so Vinny is saying Yesterday by the Beatles. Okay, I got that one. Bob should have recorded Blue Christmas on his Christmas album. I think he should have, when he had the guitar in his hand, probably should have done Love Me Tender like he did in the Sanctuary. But I think it was in an afternoon time after a luncheon. It definitely wouldn't have been during praise time. So I'm thinking that's when he did it. I assume that's real and not an AI fake. Am I right about that, folks? Am I right about that? Because you just never know these days. Um, when the truth is out, Jack, let's see here. I have no idea why I get some of the ones I get. I'm in the middle of a conversation there, but I got your yesterday. Vinny, I'm embarrassed by some of these ads that come up over the. I can just imagine what they may be. Occasionally, I get to weigh in what I think of the ads, but I can think of a couple that you might be referring to. Yeah, I have no control over that, but I occasionally get to weigh in. I get to weigh in. So let me know in an email what ads really turn you off. Is it an ad that wants to turn you on? Oh dear. Jack, I think Pastor Bob should do the song Follow the Dream from that he did years ago. Follow that dream. Follow that dream? Not follow the yellow brick road? You don't mean if I if I can dream. You don't mean that song. Um the song he ended his Christmas special with. I'm sick of the chiads. Tai Chi. Oh, Tai Chi. I was going to say, I happen to really love chai tea. I had some cold chai tea today, Vinny, down at the Asian uh, tea place, which is in the strip mall, just down from Butter butterfly jewelry, buttercup, buttercup, buttercup jewelry. Yeah. Um, Cold chai tea with no bubbles. I don't want bubbles. Why would I want bubbles? It's like having tapioca in your, and it means less drink then. No, no, no. Chai tea, Thai, Tai Chi ads are appearing. Really? Have I seen Tai Chi ads? I don't know. I don't know. Um, let's see here. Tai Chi ads. That's not starring Gene, is it? Gene Ho. Jack, I know you're the real deal. In what way, Elaine Peterson, am I the real deal? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Jack, I think Pastor Bob should do the song Follow That Dream that he did years ago. That's right, Neil. He has recorded Blue Christmas, Steve and Kermit versions. Steve. Yeah, I agree with you, Vinny. I think Blue Christmas would be a big, and it's also, I think he wants to keep it positive, you know? It's one thing to do a Christian song like I would love for him to do something like "Hunger for Holiness" by Carmen, because it's such an honest song about the struggle of sin, but you're trying to live for God and you're trying to find the victory in Jesus. The devil, you're dealing with a devil that's prowling around, um, looking for the slightest hint of blood. The song I thought of, which is a contemporary Christian song when I was on the Sound of Life radio network, because I know Bob likes to do pop songs, upbeat pop songs like Safely Home, or Jesus, Jesus, save me from sin. Hawaiian flair in that song. But the song Giving You the Rest of My Life from Bob Carlyle, the Butterfly Kisses man, who has had a long career as a contemporary Christian artist, but it was Butterfly Kisses that went to the number one on the pop charts. Everybody played it at their weddings, and Bob Carlyle was suddenly invited by Jay Leno to come on the Tonight Show and sing it. So giving you the rest of my life, it's no sacrifice. Check it out on your music service, whether it be YouTube Music or Spotify or Amazon Music, whatever. Check out the song Giving You the Rest of My Life by Bob Carlyle. And Bob has many great songs. Another good one is We Fall Down. We fall down, we get up, and the saints are just the sinners who fall down, but get up. Bob Carlyle, great singer. It was a pleasure to play his music on the Sound of Life. Before he did solo work, he was the lead voice in a group called Allies. That was his group. And there's a song called Prayer for the Children on there. Prayer for the Children, which is very powerful. Very powerful. So you think they tailor it to what they know you like, Vinny? If you watch martial arts videos, your commercials are going to be different than Brenda Noyce gets, right? Yeah. Um, no, I'm not going to recommend uh, Vinny or Todd or I think Richard just stopped in for a quick howdy. Uh, I'm not going to recommend that he sing Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed, okay? I'm not gonna do that. Now, back in my day, I was a huge Lou Reed fan, a huge. My buddies all liked him, so I liked him too, and we went to several Lou Reed concerts. He's dead now. But back in the day, yeah, I remember those days. And meal, says Vinny. Isn't it true? So, and yeah, the feed, feed wildlife. What are they supposed to eat when everything is frozen solid? You know, I feel bad for any creature that can't find a warm spot. Now with the feral cats, they've got these things built with straw in there and stuff, and they were told by the feral people, oh, there's something I wanted to read you. Maybe I can find it. I think it was Teresa Panel that sent me. It's really beautiful, because I was talking about Roger Collins, the white and gold cat that that is not really too sociable. Here's lovely Rita, Rita Maid. Um, Good to see you. One of my favorite Christmas songs is Christmas uh, Canon by TSO. Funny you should mention TSO. We see there's really two versions of the Trans Siberian Orchestra. There's a West Coast version and there's an East Coast version. But the funny thing is, in terms of the East Coast down south version, that we know the lead guitarist of TSO, they're in Wisconsin tonight. So how did they get way out there? Huh. But the TSO you would see, say in Vegas or somewhere in the West Coast, is a alternate version. So because they only have from early November to just a day or two before Christmas to do their tour. They used to do a few dates between December 26th and like January 3rd, but I don't know that they do that anymore. But Chris Caffrey is the lead guitarist for the Trans Siberian Orchestra East Coast version. And the reason I know Chris so well and could show he's had his photo with Karen numerous times because she made sure of it. He When he's not doing that, uh, and he's not being called away by some heavy metal band to do a tour with them. I think they're called Sabotage, uh, Sabotage, something like that. He works with Jimmy Sturr, the Polka King. He'll show up. He gets paid to do it. He goes out with Jimmy Sturr because Jimmy Sturr doesn't really have a lead guitarist. So when Chris comes out, they do songs like "Sweet Home Alabama," "Walk This Way." They leave the polka realm a little bit, and they do some rock and roll and some country. Devil Went Down to Georgia and things like that. So we have seen Chris with TSO, but the budget just doesn't allow for it. This year it's been a time to really think about how you're spending your money, and the fact that I need to get to Texas to see my son and what have you. Uh, it's always a challenge. It's always a challenge. Let's see here. Sing it, Jack. Get your guitar out. Don't have any musical skill at all. I just play the music on the radio. On the radio. Um, right now, there's 45 watching, 18 likes. So the people that are hitting the Cash App or the thanks button, they become even more important because now we're fighting to get the views up. I'm not going to steal other people's work. If I use a fair use clip, that's one thing, but you don't go beyond that and what have you. And I don't want to pretend there's a big movement in the story when it's so it's getting time now where there's not going to be any more Pastor Bob Joyce concerts this year. We don't think. Um, it would have already been in the promotional stage, so it's a time where he's going to think about his plans for 2026. He's going to pray on it and see what the Lord would have him do. Neil says he does chai. He does chai tea. Yeah, he drinks chai tea. I do Tai Chi and even taught a class once dressed like a Klingon. Oh, a Klingon, huh? Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, dear. Um, if that isn't love, yeah, people are weighing in on the email with the song. And hello, Daryl. I'll just give you your first name. Hi, Daryl. Are you new? And if you're still watching now, where are you watching us from? Crying in the Chapel. He has sang that song, but I think it is one of his jam sessions at the church. I don't know that he sang it on the altar. Somebody might know differently though. But there's if that isn't love, that's only the first song that's actually repeating, except maybe Blue Christmas. If that isn't love, and Crying in the Chapel. I'm thinking he might want to do some songs by the Gaither Vocal Band or the Florida Boys or the late Neelons. Most of them are gone except for one. She was pregnant. Which one am I thinking about now? Such a sad story with the Neelons. There's just things you're not going to understand in this world. Let me look at that. But keep sending your songs in. The one song that you would like Pastor Bob to record when he records in the spring. The Neelons, which I played on the Sound of Life Network when I worked there, were fantastic. The Neelons plane crash was on July 26, 2024. It was a fatal accident in Wyoming that killed 7 people, including 3 members of the gospel group, the Neelons, Jason and Kelly Neelon, Clark, Jesse and Kelly Neelon Clark, and their daughter, Amber Neelon Kistler. The cause appears to be a loss of autopilot functionality, leading to a loss of control, and the pilot declared an emergency before the crash. The group was traveling to an Alaska cruise when the incident occurred. And the eerie thing is right here on YouTube, you can find a video that they did outside the plane before they took off for a journey that would end in tragedy. Let's see here. I'll show you. I don't know how it'll appear. The picture came and went. The screen went black there. Oh, I see. It's a video. That's why. The pilot was killed. His wife was killed. Friends of the Neelons were killed. But their daughter that was pregnant was not on that flight. She released the final Neelons album that they had already recorded. They were members of the Gospel Music Association Hall of Fame. Their bodies were not burned. They were all found. All the bodies were found. It did not lead to an explosion. Um, but let's take a picture. They had some great songs, and I'm sure there's something in their catalog that Bob Joyce would probably enjoy recording very much. So there's a lot of Southern gospel out there that Pastor Bob may be drawn to. Back to the live stream. If I miss your comment, I'm sorry. When I'm on another page, I can't see it. Um, the Nelons. The blonde woman was pregnant. The blonde woman is the only one in this picture that is still alive. I believe that's correct. So that was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. But there's a wealth of songs out there, and I think Pastor Bob would enjoy that. Hello, Julia Joyce. I agree. Gloria, if that isn't love. So that's three people saying that. What is Todd saying now? YouTube is really the only TV service I use. Really? It's amazing. So going YouTube Premium is more than worth it, sure. No ads. I cannot stand them. Yeah. Um, how much is YouTube Premium, if you don't mind me asking, Todd? Some people probably would be interested in that. Yeah, Vinny, the same way. I don't have TV either, just streaming services. Huh. Me too, says Elaine Peterson. Look at this. Do that, Vinny. I've done that for about 4 years. No regrets, says Todd Bradshaw, the Tennessee Titan. Especially great for listening to music, etc., and all that goes with it. I watch Hulu. Well, I won't watch Hulu, Neo, because that's Disney, and they're on my do not associate with them list. Netflix, I know a lot of people love Netflix. There are a few things on there I would like to see. My own stuff on VLC, Apple TV, don't have that. YouTube and Rumble. Yeah, you can get Rumble. Who's left on Rumble? Because I know that Dan Bongino can't do Rumble right now. He had a financial investment in it, if not the outright lead owner, and he can't do it because he's the assistant FBI director. And Russell Brand said he was taking a break. So there's some new voices, new faces on Rumble, isn't there? Isn't there? Um, well, Pam, I'm sorry if I didn't really get to talk to you tonight. I know you've sent me a few emails I'm looking at. Well, good night, everyone. Hope you're okay, Pam. Rita says, me too. You too, but my dang TV doesn't even work right. It's been going off really easy. That's interesting. For music, I have Spotify and Amazon, says Vinny. I did have Spotify Premium for a couple of years, but I didn't use it as much as I wanted to use it. I used it from time to time. And when the card that I had on file expired, I just decided to let it go for a while anyway. And I still have Spotify, but with ads and what have you. And it would be different if I was able to play music on the air. Then I could not have ads interjecting, just between songs and what have you. But I'm not allowed to do that. To get a music license, it's very expensive, and it's only good in a few countries. It's only good, in 3 countries. Here's Katina Swatsworth. Anything Bob sings would be wonderful. Please pray. It's been one thing after another. My dad is in the hospital, and he has had a stroke. Oh dear. This morning, he seems in good spirits, so it was a mild stroke then, right? When I talked to him earlier, I see. Wow. Yeah, that's the thing. I was worried when my blood pressure was up. Well, we'll just pray for your father, Katina, that he makes a full recovery. Um, because as you get to be a certain age, how was his blood pressure readings? I wonder. How was his blood pressure? No Hulu or Netflix, just Amazon Prime. Yes, Amazon Prime. We have that. And, if you get Amazon uh, packages, as we certainly do, Karen does. I have no say in what Karen does. I can tell you, in terms of her Amazon, the packages just come. They're not for me. I don't pay for them. So who am I to tell her, But sometimes she gets a deal and what have you. Sometimes I get something on there, like my vitamins. They're nicely priced and what have you, and a few other things. Um, but no, I we canceled Hulu during the Disney controversy with Snow White, and we're never going to go back. We've got Sling. We've got Sling now. So, ta ta, nah, nah, hey, hey, kiss and goodbye. No, Bob Joyce shouldn't sing that song. Um, I think it's about $15 or so. You're starting to write like you're from Australia, Todd, or I'm in the twilight zone. $15 or so. Well, that's not bad at all. I'd have to look again. It went up recently, but it's not bad. No, it sounds like it's a very fair price when you consider what some other services are. By the way, it's getting cold in the studio. I covered up the vent. I don't want Brad to, he gets up early. Um, Placed in my life to show that when I say, forgive me my trespasses as I forgive those who trespass against me, that I really mean it. Brad gives me that opportunity every day to forgive him, you know. Um, let's see, what has he done this week? He left that annoying bathroom fan on, and I was next door. I didn't hear it, but Andy hears it real loud in his room, so he had to go down, go next door, and shut the fan off. Then the next day, in the bathroom, when I went up around midnight from the other side of the duplex, where I hang out a lot, um, there was a trickle of warm water that had been going on for over 3 hours. Well, that's great for the water bill, He seems to deliberately mess up the bathroom rug. It's not just by accident. It's like he, deliberately uses 2 feet and messes the whole rug up. And, you know, um, what does the great Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana say? He said, I purpose in my heart the night before that the next day, I'm going to follow Jesus. I'm going to follow Jesus. And by 10 o'clock the next morning, I still want to follow Jesus, but I also want to slap somebody upside the head. It's like that. It's like that. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, I've known this guy since 1973. Messy, messy, messy. What can I tell you? So I'm the unappreciated caretaker that all I get for doing that is more mess, more what sometimes seems to be blatant, deliberate mess. and it's hard to get him to change his ways. Jody Smith, Pastor Bob could do the Gaither vocal band song "A Few Good Men." Yes, I know it. I used to play it. Good selection there, Jody Smith. They had so many good ones. They have so many good ones, don't they? Um, I'll write that one down. Yeah, let me think of some of the songs I used to play during my 11 years on contemporary Christian radio. Besides the Carmen songs that come to mind or the Bob Carlyle songs. I wrote that song down. I watch the free channel, says Vinny. Jack always mentions Amazon plus Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus, and Max. Well, with something like Max, Vinny, we watch it when there's something on there that Karen just has to see. Occasionally, I guess it's me, but I usually discover things when we have HBO Max. The Gilded Age, number one with a bullet. Karen must see The Gilded Age, but by the time they get new product out, it'll be it'll be lucky for Karen. I hate to use the word lucky, that if they get it out by 2026, it might be 2027. And Dexter, well, they're in the writing room now. This is Paramount Plus slash Showtime. Paramount Plus bought Showtime. They're beginning to write the episodes now. They probably won't start taping until the late spring. And by September, we should start to see, sometime in late September, we should see the second season of Dexter Resurrection. My favorite serial killer show for sure. You know, I'm very particular about my serial killers. Dexter, number one, but the Mr. Brooks with Kevin Costner and the late great William Hurt, who I understand was not really a nice person, but whatever. He was a fantastic actor. Mr. Brooks is my favorite serial killer movie. Vinny, Mr. Brooks would always pray right after he killed somebody and beg God for forgiveness, you know, or sometimes even before, sometimes even before. And well, Kevin Costner's terrific, but I could not warm up to Yellowstone. I can't warm up to any of those, even though I'm a big Billy Bob Thornton fan, except what he did to that DJ that was interviewing that one time when he was with his band, to me is unforgivable. The guy did everything he did to try to appease Billy Bob Thornton. When he realized he didn't like him asking about his acting career, he wanted him to ask about the music. And then Billy Bob Thornton would say, if he had done it that way, I would have answered the questions about the movies and stuff like that. It's funny when you see Billy Bob Thornton being interviewed today, he couldn't be nicer. And he's talking about the show. I guess it's the Yellowstone follow-up, right? What's it called again? I don't know. But it wouldn't be my cup of tea. 1923, not my cup of tea. But I'm certainly a big Billy Bob Thornton fan, and I don't mean just Sling Blade. You know, he did a lot of good stuff. But he was being interviewed on, I forget what the podcast was, but he was saying when he comes out into the public and someone wants to talk to him, he says, people ask me, why do you spend 20-25 minutes talking to some woman who's telling you about her son in dental school? Why would you do that? He says, that's the person and people like her that put my kids through college, that gave me a very comfortable life. I have no patience for stars that walk past their fans like Barbara Streisand, for example, like they don't exist. Just keep on walking. I have no patience for that. Those people gave me the life that I have. And so I feel I owe that to them, and I'm not about to walk past them like they don't exist. So he's turned into a really nice guy, Billy Bob Thornton. He's turned into a really but I just got this thing about Disney, Vinny. I just don't like them, and their stock is way down, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. I don't know what Bob Igor was paid to do, to nosedive the company's stock from 394 to one something, and just the Snow White thing alone should have been enough to physically pick up Igor and throw him outside the gate of the studios. Are you kidding me? You did that to Snow White? And then you let the actress, you didn't have something that would prevent her not going out and defaming the movie and making it, well, this is not about, we're not going to follow the actual story. No, this is a modern woman. It's not about she needs her man. I hope that the best she can get from now on is regional theater, because if you don't want to do Snow White, don't do Snow White, but don't take out the dwarfs and then you got to CGI them in because of the controversy. And Disney, um, Walt Disney would be horrified what these woke idiots have done to his company and the brother, whatever his name was. I like Disney for the old original animated movies, not really the new stuff. Well, I'm not saying everything that comes out of there is bad, or that how dare you enjoy it. I'm certainly not saying that. The Evil Queen looked better, says Neo. Oh, dear. Did watch a show called Virgin River. Huh. That must mean it was a new river that came out of nowhere. Debbie Crumb is talking about something she's enjoys. Speaking of great Christian shows, The Chosen and The House of David, excellent. Why haven't I seen The Chosen? I can't give you an excuse. I love the actor. I like that he's on the Hallow Prayer app, which is owned by probably him and by the great Mark Wahlberg. The great Mark Wahlberg. I bet your Rita likes Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. And Mel Gibson. I think Mel is kind of on an even keel now, right? I think he's dealt with his demons. What's not owned by him? Who did I say now? The Hallow Prayer app. I read that Mark Wahlberg has an interest in that app, and they charge you to get that app. I definitely heard that he has a financial interest in it. I'm not sure about the man who plays Jesus, though. Oh, and then what's his name? Pratt. Chris Pratt also. That would be the other one. Hallow. I'm not saying hollow, right? Hallow, yeah. Do you have that prayer app, Debbie? Jack, you should see the movie I'm Gabriel, says Jody Smith. I'll write that down. I'm Gabriel. I'm mad at myself for not seeing The Chosen. It shows you how I what would be the best way to put it? I guess I'd have to say I'm ashamed of my own Christian walk. So, certain things pull me in that are of faith, and certain things I feel like I'm not ready to watch that. I don't know much of the new Catholic stars. Mark Wahlberg would be at the top of the list, I think. Um, Mel Gibson, I think he has dealt with his demons. Um, Mel, of course, believes in the Latin Mass. He goes to the Latin Mass. We have a Latin Mass on Sundays at St. Joe's now because this is part of the Pope Francis era. He was very big on having the Latin Mass. Um, it won't appeal to the XYZ generation as a whole. It won't appeal to them if they don't know what's being said. Although my sister is a flight attendant, she has talked to Jim Caviezel a couple of times, the man who played Jesus. Um, there's a V in there, Caviezel, right? Debbie Crumb, the most highest crowdfunding show ever put out. The most highest crowdfunding show ever put out. Carolyn Mullins. Mark is part owner. The brothers are owners, and they have other investors. I know Chris Pratt is in there. I know that. I've read that. Um, so not the actor who plays Jesus. Neo always comes out with something out of left field. No, I have not seen. I have not seen the movie The Martian. I have not. The most highest crowdfunding show ever put out. I'm struggling with the term crowdfunding, but I know that The Chosen is a huge success. Yes, very good. Elaine is asking Vinny if he's experiencing an ad right now. Jack, the word dwarf is politically incorrect these days. They are little people. The world has gone crazy. So midget no good either, right? Munchkin? No, no good. And no good. Rita, I go to the Latin Mass on Sunday. Um, yeah, I know you are Orthodox, traditional, old school. There's a better term, Catholic. So I would assume that you would. Um, we are all in sync. Oh, they had a few good songs, Vinny. They had a few good songs. Jack, I am your favorite listener, but you don't want to look at me because I have a face for radio. Is that what you're saying? So you're not a viewer, you're just a listener. From North Carolina, your hillbilly friend. Well, I don't know about North Carolina being so many New Yorkers live down there now, like they live in South Carolina, more in North Carolina, and obviously the state of Florida and other places, Virginia. Oh yeah, but it's so purple now. I can't believe I can't believe Spamberger. When you had Glenn Youngkin and you could have had, I thought Lieutenant Governor Sears seemed to me like a fine woman. Trump should have gone and done a rally down there for her. He should have. I don't know if it would have helped, but I didn't see her as a bad campaigner. When you think about some of the other campaigners out there, you know, I thought she was fine. And I'm sorry she's leaving the government, at least leaving being lieutenant governor, I assume, come January. Yeah, Spamberger would never pick her. I don't know how it works in Virginia, whether you vote in the lieutenant governor or the governor picks who he or she wants. The fans put more money into a small company and it grew millions of dollars for the production of the it it, so it was I see what you're saying now, that people, Christians, believers, uh, or people that just thought they could make some money, um, put money into the production of The Chosen. Yes, not the band, Jack the Ads. Huh. Um, I'm not Catholic. Oh, that's a low blow, Elaine. Rita's not gonna like that. Uh, I'm just I'm gonna let you and Rita talk that over. Why do I wanna delve into that? You know, I, uh, I understand you must be born again. That's what the Lord Jesus told Nicodemus. You must have a heart experience with the Lord. I know that there have been Catholics that said that when they did become born of God's Spirit, which is just doing what Romans 10 verses 9 and 10 says, receiving Christ with your heart, um, that they felt the direction of the Lord was to stay right where they were, right where they were, and shine a light, and shine a light. But Jim Caviezel, right? Sorry, I used the voice mode. Oh, you do? Okay. Jack, I watch Pastor Bob's sermons. Well, I know you do, Jody Smith. I know. I didn't know of any that people use the voice mode. I don't know why I didn't. Carolyn Mullins and viewer, you are easy on my eye. And viewer, you are easy on my eyes. Okay, very good, Carolyn. I feel a new, I feel a new uh, a portion of confidence now. Thank you very much. Yes, I receive Christ with my heart. Well, that's very important, you know. Um, it's it's an area that is ripe with controversy, but I know that my doctor, who's been my GP for years, Dr. Kapai, loves the Lord Jesus Christ. He is a deacon in the Catholic Church. I've received communion from him because I feel at home there, but I feel at home in a great Protestant service. The praise time is very important, and so I can see the good, and I can also see the evil in both in the Protestant side and the Catholic side through what has gone down over the many years, you know, um, because no matter what church it is, evil people can invade the church, whether it be a bishop, whether it be a local parish priest, whether it be a youth pastor in a Protestant church, whatever. Uh, there are no perfect churches, and if there were, once you or I joined them, they would cease to be perfect. I hate autocorrect, Neo. I hate it. Rita's saying, I love Jesus more than anything. And I would never question your heart. First of all, I can't look at the heart. I can't look at the heart. So, um, in any given church, I would find doctrine that I would disagree with, um, including in the Pentecostal church. You know, I've seen some wild stuff going on there, and I've seen some very good stuff. So, you don't know any In Sync songs, Vinny? Um, did you think Justin Timberlake was a good talent? Is he a good talent? Not my bag, huh? All right. All right. Let's just check the email because there were a few emails in there too. So thank you again on the Cash App for Todd Bradshaw and Vinny Maru, Elaine Peterson. Those three people are part of the Cornerstones. I need more Cornerstones though. And thank you, Patricia, somebody new. Um, so we heard from Dory talking about John Cotner. Don't believe John Cotner is Elvis or was Elvis because he's not with us anymore, right? And we heard from Christari. Christari, let's see here. I don't think she's here right now. Are you, Christari? Well, that one didn't go through. Um, she sent us some pictures. She says she thinks Bob uh, intentionally posed like Elvis had posed. Let's see here. See, we're very informal here. Okay. Chris Starry is doing well, but she's had some challenges with her arms. Let's see if I can find that email. So this is what Chris Starry had to say. Just to let you know, I'm really not MIA. I am here. I've just got a lot going on. I had that surgery, shoulders replaced, both shoulders. This woman is like a female Job, and she's not the only one here. I'm sending you pics that you could show. The doctors wrote my prescription, mess me over bad. You're only allowed so much a month, and my pharmacy only allows half of the pain pills. They never want to give you too many pain pills. They don't want you getting hooked. Um, and Advil's not going to cut it if you're in severe pain. She says she's tired, can't really do too much. She's hurting, so keep Christari in your prayers. I can't lift my right arm because the biceps are torn. The biceps torn. When he replaced my left arm, he said it's the worst he'd ever seen. They took out the tip of the bone and more stuff like that from Christari. So keep her in prayer. Tucker Carlson's at it again. Lindsey Graham, American Monster. Jeez. Oh boy. This makes me sad. The stuff that's going on with Mark Levin is involved, and I love Mark Levin. I absolutely do. He is a bit of a war hawk, and you got to be careful. But mostly with Candace, and I continue to love Tucker. Candace is seemingly over the top sometimes, just over the top. And Ben Shapiro, who fired her, and then she went on to do her own thing and is doing very well in her daily show. He says that what she's doing is evil, and she's inferring that Erica Kirk had something to do with the death of her husband, and he doesn't like at all her stand on Israel, and this is a very complex matter, and I'm going to leave it up to other creators. I support Israel. That doesn't mean I support every single act Benjamin Netanyahu ever did. That's not what supporting Israel means, you know. But I think the Bible is pretty clear that Christians are to stand with Israel. That doesn't mean condoning every single act. So that is, wow, it's already midnight. Can you believe it, guys? Vinny Maru says, even though it's late, I'm thinking about making some eggs and toast after this. Well, it's only 9 o'clock where you are, right? Love breakfast food at night. Yeah, well, I can eat breakfast anytime. Sure. They always used to say late night in the diners, and the Colonial, for example, here used to be open 24 hours. I don't think that'll ever happen again. After COVID, that was the end of that. They close like at 10 p.m. now. But you could tell, you know, you go into a diner 1, 2 in the morning on a Friday night, Saturday night, the people that are having breakfast are not late night people. They're staying up late. But the people that at 2 o'clock in the morning are having, oh, I don't know, a gyro or French fries with gravy and stuff like that. Those are the real night people. Always heard that. Always heard that. Jack, what I like about Pastor Bob's sermons is that when he gets going, he really gets going. Yeah, I like when he's softer. I think it's more teachable um, than too much yelling. But sometimes when he gets excited, it's very apropos, and I understand. I get it. Other times I say, oh, I like it when he's speaking softer. I was a big fan of Pastor Jack Hayford, Charles Stanley to a degree, but oh, he he wouldn't cut you any slack there, you know. But he was a good Bible teacher, um, Charles Stanley for sure. So I like those kind of teachers. And Adrian Rogers was another one. Excellent, excellent. Ramen noodles, Vinny? Really? See, I thought you stayed right up there in one of the hotel suites. I thought that's where you lived. This is just my, Vinny Maru character that I'm going to create, you know? Rocky Mountain Red Wing, that's Andrea. I am a night person. Yeah, me too. I try to break the mold. When I got to get up early, it feels like torture, and early can mean as early as 9:50 in the morning, you know? And we've had, like next Wednesday, we're going back to Westchester Medical Center because this time Karen's going to meet with the nurse practitioner for her surgeon. Uh, I said, after that, tell them you just want to do telemed, you know, there's no real need to be there. My favorite cup of noodles is the shrimp one, says Neil. I watch doctors on Facebook, says Rita. Better than regular doctors. I stopped going to doctors. Jody Smith says, Jack, I know you say you were saved by Jimmy Swaggart. I was saved by the Lord Jesus Christ, but through Jimmy Swaggart Ministries. But what do you think about him where he enveloped the Lord to the point where it came out as visible sobbing? Enveloped the Lord to the point it came out as visible sobbing. Do I think the tears were real from Jimmy Swaggart? They sure were when he did his confession sermon. That was real. Oh, God. That was powerful. That powerful TV right there. I believe that, that a real that spiritual giants I have seen cry on camera. And I believe, depending on who we're talking about, I believed it to be real. Um, I understand also what you're inferring, that Jimmy could be an incredible performer. You know, that's what before there was Joe Osteen, there was Jimmy Swaggart, in terms of crowd size until disaster happened in the Swaggart ministry. But he rebounded from that somewhat, never could travel again, really, and think about coming to Madison Square Garden or anything like that. But he rebounded, and I believe that he was genuinely saved. He was also a sex addict. And he was very hard on other sinners. So, there were people that were not too willing to extend too much grace to him. But then you know what the scripture says: if you don't forgive him, I will not forgive you, says the Lord, and that was actually involved in my whole, because I was complaining to the Lord about Jimmy Swaggart, some of his redneck comments and what have you, in terms of always berating the Catholics and anybody that didn't believe exactly like him. Um, what I heard from the Lord that night as I got ready to receive Christ was, um, Jimmy Swaggart is trying to do my will, is trying to follow me. What are you doing? And what I was doing back then is I was chasing Hindu gods. I was chasing Hindu teachers like Ram Dass and Paramahansa Yogananda and a few others. And that was the night that I knew that this something really special was going on here. And as I say, at that point, I knew I had to renounce Hinduism. This is why I say, in my personal opinion, Elvis was not saved when he recorded those early gospel albums, because he would have told Larry Geller to stick it. He would have said, Larry, you seem like a fine man. I like you as my hair designer and what have you. But I believe Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So your Eastern rap, your higher consciousness mumbo jumbo is not for me. I reject it. I don't want to hear it. There's no place for it in my life. I accepted Jesus Christ as my personal savior, and it's not Jesus plus anything. And I do mean plus anything. It's not Jesus plus anything. I think we'll read those last few verses tonight from Revelation. Um, so that's just how I feel. I used to go to Charles Stanley's church, really, back in the day in Atlanta, right? I liked him. And Chuck Swindoll used to play his show when I would fill in on the midday show on the Sound of Life radio network. We played Chuck Swindoll at 10:30 in the morning, I think. So I heard a lot of Chuck Swindoll when I was filling in, I liked him. I was in to the mainstream theology growing up. Yeah, well, Chuck Swindoll, great Bible teacher. I'm not giving him endorsement for everything he's ever said, but last I heard, he's still with us, right? Last I heard, I skipped mine and didn't see what it was that this time, says Vinny. So I'm in the middle of a conversation. Jack, breaking bank. You're breaking the bank? Are you at the slot table? Candace Owens? I haven't heard that one. I don't know. Yeah, I used to love Candace so much, Vinny. She'd come on Tucker for like 3-4 minutes every other night, and she was always pretty compelling, and she said some compelling stuff, but she started, becoming very anti-Zionist. And this is a very complicated thing I just can't present off the top of my head. And, John Hagee would do it better. That's why I'm saying that Mark Levin should have John Hagee on. He should. I think he did once. Now that I think about it, I think he did have John Hagee on once. Tucker should have a long interview with John Hagee. He'd probably have to do it via Zoom. You're not going to get John Hagee to leave San Antonio and come to Maine, I don't think, or Florida. Maybe you could get him to Florida. Tell him about the buffets. I'm just kidding. Andrea, Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain Red Wing, loves Charles Stanley. God rest his soul, but I know he's in the presence of the Lord. I thought his teaching was sound. Are you talking about Charles? Um, Poor Francis. So yeah, Charles Stanley, what was it? First Presbyterian Church of Atlanta. Saw him for a lot of years because I watched a lot of the Trinity Broadcasting Network in the 80s into the 90s. I did. I watched a lot. And so I can't condemn Kim Clement, the father of Doni Clement that goes to the George Magazine live events. He he did seem to prophesy that President Trump would be the president and for 2 terms. 2 terms. That seems to be accurate. Um, Andy Stanley is a little different than his father, not as traditional at all. So Andy Stanley used to fill in at Charles Stanley, his father's church, and then that stopped. That stopped. I think he said a few things back then that Dad didn't agree with and didn't want taught at First Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, you like Charles Stanley too. Well, you have to know that he loved the Lord and he was the real deal. Man went through a divorce, and that was hard for him. Um, I think his wife simply felt that he was married to the ministry. He was married to the ministry, and she just wanted to get away from it. Um, so look at this, 12:10. Can you believe that? We started at 10 o'clock. Wow. 40 watching right now, 20 likes. Nobody has hit the thanks button tonight. Nobody. Nobody has hit the thanks button. We're definitely in a slide in terms of views. That's for sure. I understand I've got to get a hot pre-recorded video out. I understand. I want it to be from the heart. I want it to be from the heart. So that's when like the core people, and I need more of them and Cash App and what have you, they kind of help me make our minuscule budget. And believe me, it's minuscule budget. Um, so please hit the thanks button for any amount. There's nothing wrong with 99 cents or $2.99 or whatever. If you've been watching me for years and you want to do better than that, I would suggest Cash App. That's lowercase letters Media Guy 56. Hello, replay crowd. This applies to you too. Media Guy 56. The replay crowd is always our biggest audience, and we want to hear more song selections, including in the replay. Please give me, what song would you like Pastor Bob to record on his next album, which I think he's going to do in Tennessee in the spring. What one song would you like him to record? My garage is external and it's pretty loaded. What do you have in your garage, Vinny? I enjoy watching and listening to you. You are a godly man. It shows me, it shows through with my, thank you, Jody, for hitting the thanks button. The first one tonight in the turquoise. She's the great encourager for $2. Thank you very, very much. It shows through with my SS windfall of $25. I will Cash App. Bear with me. I don't. I only, if it's in any way a struggle, and I know how many things, co-pays and stuff like that. It's so I'm not ever going to pressure someone that is on a fixed income and it would be a struggle for them. Give it to your church before you give it to me. That's what I would say, because that's where the Lord can multiply what you give and what have you. 24 by 24 foot. Is that your boat or your garage? What is your yacht like, Vinny? Can I go for a ride? And Where the heck do you find water nearby? Stuff, got lots of stuff. I know that's why there's all these storage units. People get storage units. So George Carlin has a whole bit on stuff, you know. We love you, Jack. I love you, Elaine. Thank you very, very much for that. It's been fun. Thank you, Jody Smith, for hitting the thanks button once again. So continue, please, in the replay feed to list the songs you feel Bob Joyce should record on his next album. I gave my boat away years ago. Colorado River. Wow. Just wasn't using it. Yeah, people buy these RVs and they sit in the driveway or they sit up at a storage unit place 11 months of the year or more, you know. You just don't use it as much as you thought you were going to. And if you're not retired, buying a big RV is probably not a good choice. You can even rent one, you can rent one if you want to. So there you go. So we've got to pray for Christari. We've got to pray for Katina's father. We've got to pray for Marianne Rossi, who's still working on getting stronger. Let me put on my Walmart glasses. Yeah, I was not a big Pope Francis fan either, and neither was Raymond Arroyo. When Raymond Arroyo from the Eternal Word Network, he's also on Laura Ingraham, and he's a Fox News contributor. I get it. When Raymond Arroyo, who does that great show, The World Over, which you can see right here. Hey, Rita, you probably agree with this. The World Over, he has the Papal Posse, which is a very good priest and a lay person from the Catholic Church. When Raymond Arroyo gets banned from the Vatican by the Pope, there may be something wrong with that Pope. So we got to close up shop here. Also continue to pray for Adam Davidson, but it seems those prayers are working. That's good news. Oh, Brenda Noyce. We got to pray for Brenda Noyce, right? She's always dealing with a number of things. Oh dear. I could have bookmarked this. That would have been a logical choice. I'm in the last chapter of the book of Revelation, 22. Words of Jesus in verse 12 of 22, and then we'll go on. Behold, I am coming soon. Remember, a day is as of 1,000 years to the Lord. So we have no idea about the Lord's timing. His timing is different than ours. Behold, I am coming soon. My reward is with me, and I will give to everyone according to what he has done. I am the Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Blessed are those who wash their robes, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may go through the gates into the city. Outside are the dogs, those who practice magic arts, the sexually immoral, the murderers, the idolaters, and everyone who loves and practices falsehood. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to give you this testimony for the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright morning star. The Spirit and the bride say, come, and let him who hears come. Whoever is thirsty, let him come, and whoever wishes, let him take the free gift of the water of life. I warn everyone, this is very important. I warn everyone who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If anyone adds anything to them, God will add to him the plagues described in this book. And if anyone takes words away from this book of prophecy, God will take away from him his share in the tree of life in the holy city, which are described in this book. He who testifies to these things says, Yes, I am coming soon. Amen. Come, Lord Jesus. The grace of the Lord Jesus Christ be with God's people. Amen. It's Jesus plus nothing. So when I read those verses, I know that there's more change required in my life. There's more devotion required in my life. So thank you. Thank you, Vinny, for stopping by. Thank you for hitting the Cash App. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw, Elaine, Patricia. Thank you, Jody Smith, on the thanks button. Appreciate it very, very much. We'll promo when the weekend show is. I'm just not sure yet. But I intend to do one. It was kind of nice, to tell you the truth, doing it from the living room last Sunday night, because we did Saturday in the studio. I'm not planning a doubleheader this weekend, but it was nice Sunday night. I was more relaxed and it was easier, and people were there for me, and that was very, very nice. So remember, pray for Brenda, pray for Kastari, pray for Katina's father, and for Marianne Rossi, Adam Davidson, Brenda Noyce. Keep them in prayer, and you can always, in the replay comment section, do two things. Put down your prayer request, and also what song would you like Bob Joyce to record on his next album. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Todd. Good night. Good night, Vinnie Maru. Good night, Rocky Mountain High, Rita, Jody, and all the people that stopped by tonight. We're missing a lot of people, though. We're missing a lot of people. It's concerning. It's concerning. But when I release a pre-recorded Bob Joyce video, that I have something, and I'm not trying to manufacture something. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it positive, but whatever the chronological story is what the chronological story is. So that kind of stuff we do. We do. Jack Willard saying, God bless you. Have a wonderful Friday. I praise God that my cardiac my cardiac scan was good, and that my pulse ox was 98. Was very happy about that. Even though I'm not on the Camzyos right now, they're trying to get more for me. Still, the cardiac sonogram was good. It was good. The heart seems to be functioning well. I give all the glory to Jesus Christ. Grace that I have done nothing to deserve. Bye-bye for now, everybody.